I think it's
Jewish
insulting what they're
Holocaust
doing. It is not insulting to Jewish Holocaust. I find it insulting that you could even fix your mouth to defend this disgusting behavior.
Ovens at these?
It's not a death.
It doesn't matter. It's the most by this, and not make yourself or somebody else the center of attention when that's not who's getting impacted by this.
Jewish, but I'm saying,
or anyone else the center of attention.
Tensions are so heightened. Using that kind of language, I think, is not helpful.
The tensions are heightened because this guests are
nothing really.
Are you a reporter? Are you not a reporter? Yes, thousands of people. And it is very disgusting what this administration is doing. And 10, 5, 6 months, 20 years from now, I hope that you can look back at this very clip and realize that you were on the wrong side of history if you're trying to remotely defend what's happened. It has nothing to do with my language. It has to do with the actions that are being taken by this administration.
And how many people have been disappeared that you've never heard from again, and we don't know anything about them or where they've gone?
Thousands of people.
And even the president, I think a week ago, because of the impacts on certain markets, was saying, well, individuals in farming or in hospitality, we may make exceptions. So clearly there's a recognition of the implications of this.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this segment. Tiffany Cross did not come to play around today, not like she ever does. If Democrats fought half as passionately as she did, we would lose no elections going forward. Check this out and we'll talk about it.
Tonight, show of force. Video capturing on Monday showing dozens of federal agents in tactical gear flanked by armed members of the National Guard swarming a Los Angeles park, MacArthur Park, in a heavily immigrant neighborhood in the heart of the city. A camera crew could also be seen right there following the operation closely on the ground. LA's mayor slammed the operation.
To me, this is another example of the administration ratcheting up chaos. Frankly, it is outrageous and un-American that we have federal armed vehicles in our parks when nothing is going on in the parks. What happened to the criminals, the drug dealers, the violent individuals who were in the park today were children. It was their summer camp. They were ushered inside so that they didn't get exposed to the troops that were walking in formation across their playground area.
Joining us at the table is one of the nation's leading voices on immigration rights, Jose Antonio Vargas. He's also the author of Dear America, Notes of an Undocumented Citizen. Jose, this video, you kind of have to watch it a few times.
I've seen
and you see a lot of different things happening in them. You know, long guns, you're seeing people in tactical gear, you've got the military vehicles on the outskirts. What would be the point of something like this?
Superman is opening this weekend. Right, the movie? I felt like I was literally watching a movie. I used to live about a mile, actually, from MacArthur Park. I used to live in downtown LA. And to me, one of my favorite columnists at the LA Times, Gustavo Arellano, wrote, it was like watching a photo op written in DC, paid for by taxpayers. That's what that was.
And it certainly does seem like the photo op was part of the point.
And in LA, 900,000 undocumented people live in LA County. That's the population of South Dakota. That's like all of Indianapolis and Columbus, Ohio, right? So the reality is, for people in LA, when you're talking about illegal aliens and criminals, you're actually talking about their neighbors and people they go to school with, their coworkers. So what was fascinating was all the superwomen and supermen who were showing up, recording all of it, telling ICE to get out. I thought that was really encouraging, and Gustavo wrote about that. The fact that so many people showed up and said, wait a second, like, stop this, stop
including
this.
The mayor.
Including the mayor. And like, really kudos to the mayor for showing up in that way.
So Kelly, why would, you know, the federal government?
I just have to quickly say, that camera man running to the side there, these ICE people, they freak out when you do that and cover their faces like the little cowards they are. That tells me that they definitely wanted the press there if they didn't hide them themselves. This whole operation is just meant to scare the living crap out of Hispanics. This is meant to disrupt any peace that any Hispanic undocumented immigrant may have. They know that already they aren't safe in their workplaces or even a Home Depot, and now not even a park where children are. I mean, I think it's the same reason they built that stupid alligator prison. This is all to make people obviously leave on their own and scare the crap out of them. Because if their belief is if you mistreat them long enough, they will leave if you terrorize them enough. At least that's what they think will happen. But little do they know, do I have to let them know a little secret here. My people are resilient and unrelenting and fighters to the bitter end. And this country will be ours first, along with the world. I'm kidding. Obviously, that's just to scare the bigots out there. Or am I kidding, bigots out there? Wink.
Use the National Guard in this way, even use ICE agents in this way at a time when actually ICE agents are doing what they're being told to do and are being put in situations that are extremely dangerous. And this is ratcheting up that kind of tension in the community as opposed to ratcheting it down.
Yeah, Abby, I think there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered here, and the federal government has not answered them. It has said that the Customs and Border Protection led the operation, and ICE was just there in a supporting role. But I think it's also important to remember the reason that there were just kids in the park is that flyers went out ahead of time warning that there was going to be a raid in MacArthur Park. So people
isn't
were
that
aware.
A reason to not bring,
I'm guessing that the federal government. I'm guessing the federal government didn't see those.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying, like, if you show up at a park and all you see are kids, why would you go forward with the operation when the people that you maybe they were, I don't know, they haven't actually said, to your point, they've said virtually nothing about this. The ICE spokesperson told CNN the agency is not commenting on ongoing operations. We don't know if they were looking for someone. We don't know if they arrested anybody. But clearly, whoever they were looking for, there was no one there but kids.
Well, I think this is the challenge I have with even talking about this. We are normalizing a government agency disappearing people. We are normalizing, we're talking about it like it's no big deal that they are kidnapping people and transporting them to concentration camps, both domestic and foreign. I think
that's kind of insulting to,
I think it's
Jewish
insulting what
Holocaust
they're doing. It is not
Wait.
insulting to Jewish Holocaust. I find it insulting that you could even fix your mouth to defend this
Are
disgusting
there gas
behavior.
ovens at these?
It's not a death
It
camp.
doesn't matter. It's a concentration camp what they're doing, and they are disappearing people, claiming that these are people who have committed the most harsh crimes. But according to the reporting, less than 10% of these people have committed harsh crimes. So to do the victim Olympics and decide who had it worse, I can tell you, I can participate in that too. And everybody who says, "Oh, this is not the America I know," I can guarantee you, it is the America I know. Can I finish my point, please?
Yes.
We are the fact that we're presenting this like it's political fodder, that a government agency is disappearing people. It is not a political point. It has nothing to do with Jewish people, because despite the fact that 20% of immigrants in this country are white, we do not see white people getting carted off to concentration camps. So if we can just focus on the people who are harmed the most by this, and not make yourself or somebody else the center of attention, when that's not who's getting impacted by this.
Jewish, but I'm saying
or anyone else the center of attention.
Tensions are so heightened. Using that kind of language, I think, is not helpful.
The tensions are heightened because this BS administration is kidnapping people. It has nothing to do with my language. It has to do with the actions that are being taken by this administration.
How many people have been disappeared that you've never heard from again, and we don't know anything about them or where they've gone?
Thousands of people.
And
are you
never
serious?
heard about them, where they're
Yes.
nothing really.
Aren't you a reporter? Are you not a reporter? Yes, thousands of people.
We managed to find
Thousands
people
of
in
people.
El Salvadoran prisons who, were sent
I'm sorry.
there.
I just want to be clear. Are you defending what's happening in this
I am not
administration?
defending. I'm saying let's be accurate about what's happening.
I'm being very accurate, and it is very disgusting what this administration is doing. And 10, 5, 6 months, 20 years from now, I hope that you can look back at this very clip and realize that you were on the wrong side of history if you're trying to remotely defend what's happening. There are fathers, mothers, and young people who are being carted off to concentration camps, and less than 10% of these people have committed any sort of violent crime. They are coming up, people whose our kids are in school. They are never to see their families again.
Let me let Jose get a word in, and then we got to get these guys in.
I do think the administration should focus on hardened criminals and people.
Can I just make, since you just said that, let me just make one.
Tiffany Cross, round of applause. That was a massacre. Tiffany Cross fights like if her own parents are being picked up by ICE or someone. I just really appreciate her. She did not come to play around today. She sees this issue, and she really fights truly like no other. Truly passionate and cares. And I just have to thank her every damn time she speaks. Imagine if all Democrats fought like this. Spoke about the issues with such accuracy, such passion, unrelenting, It's truly impossible not to listen to what she is saying. She demands attention. In fact, she will check your ass real quick if you try interrupting her. Again, thank you, Tiffany. That's how it's done. It's people like her that got my people's back that I will fight tooth and nail till my last breath to do my best to have her people's back. Because again, I've said this on this channel before. You don't have to be black to fight for black people. Just like you don't have to be Hispanic to fight for Hispanics. Your issues are mine. They come for you and they'll get me. Hispanics out there, are you listening? This is the mentality that is necessary. The reason any of us are here is because what black people, what they fought for, literally blood and sweat during the civil rights era for us to even have a chance to be here. So don't ever forget that.
One note here. Today, this kind of raised my antenna. The Customs and Border Protection sent this message out on X. Attention green card holders. Under our nation's laws, our government has the authority to revoke your green card if our laws are broken and abused. Also noted here that if you present at a port of entry with previous criminal convictions, you may be subject to mandatory detention.
This is the panic. This is the fear. And I have to say, by the way, this is what it means when you have now, in the next 4 years, $170 billion of taxpayer money will be spent on enforcing all of this. And for what? And as you just pointed out, they're going after nannies. They're going after people at Home Depot. They're going after college students. We've had 2 dreamers that were arrested in traffic stops, one in Colorado and one in Georgia. Like, what are we doing?
And they're dressing up. Now
let me
people
share,
are dressing up as ICE agents. We had 3 examples of people dressing up as ICE agents, kidnapping people. None of us should be defending
I'm looking at this through 2 lenses. You do have to get rid of hardened criminals. I think everybody would agree with that. Individuals who may not be hardened criminals but came into the country without going through the appropriate process, there needs to be a recourse to rectify that. Now, in the past, Republicans had the mindset maybe 20 years ago that those people should pay a fine or something, a very steep fine. I would be willing to entertain that argument again. I think you got to figure this out. And even the president, I think a week ago, because of the impacts on certain markets, was saying, well, individuals in farming or in hospitality, we may make exceptions. So clearly there's a recognition of the implications of this. I think we got to explore that a bit more.
We do have to go, but I just want to note
86% of fentanyl that crosses the border comes from American citizens.
I just want to note, as you brought up agricultural workers, they're walking that back, now saying that we're just going to replace immigrants with AI and Medicaid recipients. So that's the new...
Can you replace half of the country's farmers who are undocumented with AI? How does that work? To your point, though, one thing that we have to talk about, how do we have a country where there's no undocumented people? That's what we should be talking about. What are the actual solution to this, instead of throwing billions of dollars of money to a problem that we've been having for decades?
And I think both sides could probably figure that out.
Jose Antonio Vargas.
Shut up, Little Shermichael. Oh, imagine if Little Shermichael fought for his people the way Tiffany Cross fights for Hispanics. Could you imagine if Little Shermichael had the spine, a quarter of the spine that Tiffany Cross, a quarter of the courage? Like, this little guy, man, he's besides the point right now. And I think, honestly, I think he's scared of Tiffany Cross for what you just saw. Because he had a similar interaction with her once in one of my previous videos, and she just eviscerated him. So he's in his best behavior. Look at his little hands folded up when she's around. He knows not to play. And again, I just want to say something. Hispanics for Trump. Hispanics on both sides. Pay attention to the people who are always fighting for us. Mayor Karen Bass, Mayor Baraka from New Jersey, LaMonica McIver, who got arrested fighting against what was it, ICE, and Tiffany Cross, of course. I mean, the list goes on and on of black people fighting for our issues. Hispanics, just look at who's on our side. This is very simple, and look which side wants to feed us to alligators. Literally, I wish I was joking about that. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Please leave a like, subscribe. Really helps the channel. Really helps get the message out there. And I'll catch you in the next one.